Hello, it's the Silly Moustache here, like my new mug. Now, today I have moved into my kitchen because I'm going to try and show you how I change strings or replace strings on a slab head flat top. I only have two slab head flat tops, so this can only happen when I've got the kitchen to myself. The house is quiet, cat's quiet at the moment, and I have some strings already prepared, so I've removed the old strings, I've cleaned and polished the guitar, and I am going to use old style Martin SPs that I've been hanging on to, and this guitar I think deserves it. This is my Santa Cruz RS. The tools I'm going to use are my electronic screwdriver with a StewMac winding attachment, my Planet Waves neck support, my Planet Waves winder, which I don't use that bit anymore, and the pincers, which are very important, a pair of small long nose pliers, and my Music Nomad pin extractor. And I'm going to just show you how easy that is to remove them, and they come out like that, and I can put them in my little jug for safety. Finish with that, and of course a little tuner. This is a very basic tuner that will do for these purposes. Okay, now I've got to go to my script here because I pre-cut my strings as follows. For the bass E, I go to the capstan of the tuner plus 2 inches, for the A 2.5 inches, for the D 3 inches, for the G 3 inches, and for B and E 3.5 inches. Why do I do this? Well, because it gives you just one wind over and one wind under on the E. All of them have one wind over. I get 2 under on the A, 3 under on the D, 3 on the G, and 4 and 5 for the B and the E. This makes for a nice, comfortably spaced set of winds around them, which keeps the strings apart. It's sufficient to secure the strings, and I'm going to start now with the bass string, and I'm going to talk to you about the way that I bend strings. Now, the rollers, my luthier friends tell me, should be rolling as if they're going up and down the string. So I'm going to bend that at the end of the winding over like that. Sometimes they might need another little bend to get onto the bridge plate, but I hope you can see that against my dark shirt. So that is bent. I might bend that a little bit more. There we go. So now I'm going to put that with one of the pins that I've carefully stowed into the hole. These are slotted pins, which is unusual for me. And over here I'm going to use, where's my other thing? My ruler. Yes, might sound ridiculous, but there we are. So I'm going to measure to the capstan and then plus 2 inches. There we go. And then using my little snippers, and snip there. And still the bending and clipping with the pliers hasn't finished, because then I will bend this at a right angle or a little bit more at about 1/4 of an inch. 1/4 of an inch. That will go through the capstan and a little bit more and secure it. Using my winder, I'm going to wind that round, switch it on, help. There we go. And so I'm going to go 1 over, and then there we go. So that's I'm not going to bother about tuning at the moment, of course. Now what I like to do is I like to do the 6th string first, and then the 1st string, and I'll repeat the exercise. Whoops, let's get rid of that. Bending the string, even the toppy, even the thin one, at the end of the winding. At the end of the winding. Alright, so using another bridge pin, I'm going to put that in the pin hole, bury it in, give it a good firm tug, make sure it's properly bedded. the barrel has to come up against the bridge plate, which is a piece of wood underneath there. And I'm going to do this 3.5 inches long. 1, 2, 3.5. There we go. And cut. So all the pliers are there already. 1/4 inch in and a 90 degree bend. Okay, so that's going to go in, making sure you go into the right side. I'm going to take the glasses off so I can see something. There we go, and the winder is on the other side of the desk. This is not a place that I'm used to working. Here we go. I do find winding on strings easier on slotted headstocks, much to everybody's amazement. And make sure you're fitting it into the slot in the nut, and there we are. So we've got 1 6. Now we're going to the next fattest one. These aren't marked like D'Addario's are, so I have to be cautious about that. Another little bend at the end of the wind. Another pin. I think I've dropped one of the strings on the floor behind, in front of me. I'll have to go hunting for it in a moment. Right, this one I'm going to do 2.5 inches. 2.5 inches. It's a little bit thinner, so it needs a little bit more wind. A 90 degree bend, a sharp 90 degree bend here, no curves or anything like that. It's going to fit into the slot in the barrel very comfortably and hold it firmly. 1 over. Now you see I'm holding the tension on the strings. Now I'm going to wind that over. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to go to the B string. Same process. Good bend there. Keep that barrel going up and down the string, as it were, which saves, inevitably, bridge plates tend to crumble from use, from being held for years, and I've had one fail on me once. Now I'm going to the B, so this is going to be also 3.5. There we go. And so putting them all in the same way, I am told, puts less tension onto the bridge plate itself. Good, strong. It can be a little bit over 90 degrees, that doesn't matter too much. If I'm being really clever, I could have lined all these up. There we go. But I'm not really clever, but I have developed these methods which I share for you, which you can use with my love if you wish, or you can totally ignore all this. There are many different ways, and there's 100 different people showing you how to do this on YouTube, I'm sure. This is old Andy's style, something that I've developed over the years, and it's served me well. I discovered these, let me see where the other string's gone. I think I'm going to have to put my glasses back on, excuse me for a moment. Yes, these SPs, I discovered them rather late, just as they were being discontinued. So I bought a bunch and found that I really liked them. I especially like the golden colour unwound strings. So I have kept a few. I use the Authentics as well. They're okay. They're as good as the D'Addario. I'm not sure that there's an awful lot of difference in them. Right, I'm now going to the D. Where's my pliers? There's my pliers. At the end of the wind, one bridge pin, carefully seated. Give it a good strong pull. Not enough to hurt the bridge plate, of course. And then I'm going to measure this one at 3 inches. Does it matter if it's an 8 up or down, anything like that? No, it doesn't. But the idea is to give a nice tidy number of rolls on the capstan of the tuners, and also so you don't, most importantly, so the string doesn't wind over itself, which is effectively changing the gearing of the winder of the tuner, which makes it difficult to tune. And it helps you keep the strings away from each other. On flathead, slab head, headstocks like this, it can happen that the strings get a little uncomfortably close, so they don't rub against each other. And the last one is the G, of course. Here we go. Good 90-degree turn. Last bridge pin. It's reassuring to know that I've got the right numbers of everything. Okay, and on this one I put about 3 inches. I say about 3 inches because this is not crucial, but it's a good guideline, and I shall put this in the details underneath this video as and when it gets published. There we go. And it's through. These will leave the ends of these strings with little protuberances of about 1/8 of an inch. That doesn't bother me. You can be more precise as to where you cut if you want to have none, but I'm counselling against that. Right, so I've done that, I've got rid of that and that and that. It's just a matter of tuning it approximately. So these little tiny tuner. Right, is that too tight? There is absolutely no harm in taking all the strings off on a modern guitar which has been built by a competent builder. That old wives' tale about never taking the strings off certainly does apply to archtop guitars and mandolins with floating bridges, and to unstable guitars where I have had such things where by the time you that you've got one string in tune, it's tension and pull the neck up and everything else is out of tune. As guitars aren't like that anymore. The other problem with cutting strings, of course, is in the rare occasion that you have round coarse strings such as new tone. Alright, so I've now got the guitar pretty much in tune, and now I'm going to pull it out of tune. In a previous video that I made about doing the same thing in the same place with slotted headstock guitars, I snapped them. I decided that's not good practice. So this is what I do. I pull them there and I run my fingers here. People call this stretching. I've been told that you don't stretch strings. And what you're doing is you're settling them. You're pulling them and equalizing the tension between the tuner and the nut and the saddle. So you're just pulling them a little bit, just putting a bit of tension on them. And of course this will also usually put them out of tune a little bit. And that's fine because we've still got our tuner in place. So we'll start again now. Yes, nice. And flat. That means that the settling has actually worked. Yeah, that's all right. Oh, that beautiful tone from the E there. G. Yeah. B. Bit flat. And there you have it, folks. One set of strings changed, and there we have a nice tidy headstock, okay, with the number of bound coils around underneath the string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5-ish for those two. So that's worked very nicely. Looks very tidy. I hope you will agree. There we are. There you go. And that brings to the end this little video, and then I can go back into my workshop and out of the kitchen after I've tidied up before my wife comes home. If you have been, thanks for watching, but if you have any queries or comments or arguments or discussions, then please let me know. I love receiving your comments and queries, and I do my very, very best to answer them all. So all the best. Bye.